I want to thank everybody for coming in today to listen to me. I'm Dr. Darrell Tolbert, which he said, owner of Dr. Darrell Tolbert Motivational Business, which is sponsored by Cushite Financial Services and V1 Rotate Elevate Publishing. One thing about me is I value time, because time is one of the most valuable commodities. You cannot get time back. The mere fact you all took your time out to come listen to me, I'm going to make sure that I honor your time, hoping to give you something that's very valuable. My topic for today is breaking free from the chains of unforgiveness and resentment. I'm pretty sure all of us on here may have struggled or still struggle with forgiving somebody. It's a universal topic, I know, because on my podcast with Dr. Darrell Tolbert, on my podcast, I interview a lot of people, and I'm able to see who download these podcasts, and it's all over the world, South America, Asia, Africa, and all over. So I know that this is an international topic that I have, and I know that a lot of people still struggle with this topic. My why. Oftentimes it is your why that drives you. It's the why that gives you the purpose and the passion. Why this topic of unforgiveness? My book I wrote, which is my sixth book, I Forgave the Two Men I Vowed to Kill. On the monitor, if y'all can see, that's my cousin. Maybe over 30 years ago, I was at a family gathering in the hood. Y'all know how I go in the hood, just hanging out, the older people playing cards, young kids playing around, and I was over there at the family gathering with my cousin, and a guy came there thinking that I had been involved with his girlfriend, which I was not. I was innocent of that. But when he came, I never forget this. My cousin was standing beside me. She was 17 years old. When he came around the car, I seen a gun in his hand. As the gun began to come up, he said, "What, she with you now?" And before I could respond, it's like time stood still as the gun was coming up. It's one of those things where you're running fast, but it seemed like you're running slow. And as he began to fire these bullets, I could hear the bullets coming so close to my head, it was whistling, phew, phew, as it was coming past me, and it hit my cousin, and it hit another girl behind me. When it hit her, it blew her chest open, and when I was able to knock the girl in the door and get up, and I jumped up and I ran to my mama's house, which was 2 blocks away, and we came back, there was my cousin laying down in the dirt. She was dead. Another girl laying in the doorway, paralyzed. And at that moment, hatred, resentment came in. I only had one thought at this moment. She was 17. She had a 15-month-old daughter and a 2-month-old son. My only thought at this time is, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And we went out all night long trying to find him, but we couldn't find him. Later on, the next day, we all came together at the family gathering, just talking. And one of my cousins said, "Listen, let's go over to the parts store." And I say, yes. So we all got in the car, not thinking that we was going to see him because the police is looking for him. And we go to the parts store. When we come out, we see police is just flying down the road with their lights on. And I just jokingly say, "Come on, let's get in the car and go see who they chasing. They may be chasing after this individual." So as we go down this road and we come through this park, sure enough, it's the individual running across the park. At that time, a Uzi was zipped out of a case and shots was fired. Had not the police been closing in on him, he would have been dead that day. So at that point in time, the police came and we fled. Forgiveness. What are the benefits of forgiveness? When it comes to health, the mental health, forgiveness has a great impact on your health. One of the things that it has, depression. A lot of people who carry the unforgiveness is depression that sets in on their bodies. Also, high blood pressure. It messes with your anger. A lot of people who carry unforgiveness, they're angry. And one thing about unforgiveness is this. A lot of times it's triggered. You may have a situation in your childhood, long time ago. You think that you didn't dealt with this situation, but all of a sudden somebody says something or an event happens and bam, it triggers it. Sometimes you think that, hey, I've gotten over this thing. I done moved past it. But the mere fact that you're triggered by it shows that you haven't gotten over it. You're not past it. We can never forget the situation, but we cannot allow the emotions that comes up as a result of the situation. Oftentimes people say that time heals all. That's not true. Time does not heal all. I like to teach this principle right here. What happens is time is a journey. Since time is a journey, it's a process. If you do the work, use tools given to you when it comes to forgiving somebody, then yes, at some point in time, you'll be able to get on that situation. I interviewed a girl on my podcast. She told a story of how her and her sister, they was like a year apart, both was being molested by a mother's boyfriend. Interesting enough, the same amount of time had passed. She was healed, she was prosperous, she was a nurse, but her sister was still angry and full of resentments. Why is that? Because guess what? Forgiveness is intentional. You have to do the work if you want to get past that forgiveness. Her sister didn't do the work. Both same amount of time. One free, one still in bondage. Why? One did the work, so therefore in time, then forgiveness came in time. What about the physical health? One thing that jumps out at me is this. Unforgiveness sometimes mess with your immune system. Because it messes with your immune system, that opens up the door for you to get a lot of sickness. A lot of times, people are sick, don't know why they're sick. Why? You're holding unforgiveness inside of you, and it's affecting your health. High blood pressure, causing your heart to beat on a lot of different levels, hard all the time. So there's a lot of benefits that when you forgive people. What about forgiving others? It heals emotional wounds. It strengthens relationships. There's so many families that's divided. Why? Because of unforgiveness in the family, has the family separated. I go to Lower Correction Institution. That is the largest prison, women prison inside of Florida. I go there twice a month. I remember I came in there one time, and when the class was full of women, and I said this, I said, what if I had the ability to take you by your hand, to take you back in time, and we arrived at the front door of your house, and we opened the door, and we stepped inside the door and closed the door behind me, what would we see? Instantly, everybody in there, tears started flowing from everybody in there. Why? I had took them back to a point in time where they had not forgiven, and I had triggered their pain. And one girl said, you want me to answer that question? I said, no, I didn't want you to answer it. I just threw it out there as a thought to make you think. She said, but I want to answer it. I said, well, go ahead on and answer it. She said, if you were to take that journey with me, and if you were to go to my house, you'll see me being molested. Another girl said, I want to answer it. If you was to take that journey with me, go back to my house, you'll see me being molested. You'll see drugs everywhere. Another girl said, I want to answer it. If you was to take that journey to my house, you'll see drugs everywhere. Everybody in there is crying. Why? Because of some event that happened long time ago. A lot of these women, they're not in prison because they're criminals. They're in prison because they had a traumatic event happen to them back in the past, and they use drugs to try to medicate. And if you're going to use drugs, drugs cost money, and that's why they rob. That's why they prostitute. Why? Because I'm trying to cover up a situation that happened a long time in my life. So we need to forgive others, because oftentimes the person which you don't want to forgive, those people are living their best life now. They went on with life, and you the one hurt. You the one still stuck in yesterday without the ability to enjoy today. Then you have to forgive yourself. When I was growing up, my sister came to me and she said this right here. She said, Darrell, don't be like your older brothers. My two older brothers had got into the drugs and they was drinking, they was into alcohol. And to this day, at 58 years old, that's one of the reasons why I never used drugs and never drank alcohol to this day. She said, don't be like them. I give you whatever you want, not to be like them. She was like my second mother. I had a great mother, but she was a bonus mother. So I set myself not to be like them. Achieving trophies, 16 trophies, football, basketball, baseball, because I'm the great white hope. I don't want to be like my brothers. I'm going to be different. The family want me to be different. End up going to the military, achieve all type of medals in the military, had more medals on my uniform than the sergeant who been in ahead of me. Why? I'm trying to please my family. I'm the great white hope. I'm going to be the one that's going to be successful. Came home to be a police officer, ran into racism. I didn't know how to deal with it. And next thing I know, I'm selling drugs. I'm selling drugs. Everybody disappointed. Everybody in a state of shock. Even the drug addicts telling me, Darrell, what you doing out here? You do not belong out here. Bringing embarrassment on my family. I never forget it when the task force bust my house and they kicked the door in. I was there watching my son and they put the handcuffs on me, and my son, 2-year-old son, was trying to get the handcuffs off of me. I'm saying, Daddy, it's okay. And they called my parents to come and get my boy because my girlfriend was working. And they took me outside. They didn't let me put a shirt on. I didn't have shoes on. They wanted to humiliate me. So they didn't want me to put my shirt on because it was crowded outside. And I got my stance. I said, I'm not going to allow them the dignity. So I went out with the unit on my face, and they put me in the car, and next thing I know, a Cadillac pulled up. And when the Cadillac pulled up, my mom jumped out, and I could see the worration on her face. But then my dad got out. He looked at me. He walked over to the car, and the words that he said broke me down. I could no longer keep the unit on my face. This was a man who didn't have a father inside of his life. So he said, because I didn't have a father, I'm going to be inside the kid's life. This is a man who had a 9th grade education, and yet this man was able to develop his own business. Why? It was a construction business. I'm developing a business so all my sons can work inside the business. This was an elder inside the church. This was a preacher. This was a man everybody looked up to. Everybody in the community respected this man. And look at me. I brought embarrassment on this man. I didn't have to do that. And when my dad walked over to the car, he could have said a whole lot of stuff. I raised you right from wrong. He didn't say none of that. The only thing my daddy said was, son, did they hurt you? That's all he cared about. He didn't care about none of that. He just cared about, son, did they hurt you? And at that moment I broke, I started crying because I'm saying, my God, I brought this embarrassment on my dad. And the only thing he think about is that these people hurt me. They end up going to prison. When I'm in prison, I'm walking around like, man, I done messed up. My whole life, I accomplished so much stuff. Some of the correction officers who knew my parents, they'll come and tell me, say, listen, you should be ashamed of yourself. Your mom and daddy raised you better than this. I know I don't need y'all kicking me, man. I'm already down. I don't need nobody adding on to this. I know I done messed up. And I'm sitting in the prison, and then one day I said to myself, Darrell, you got to get up. You got to forgive yourself. As long as you got breath, you got an opportunity for success. As long as you got breath, you got an opportunity for success. I had learned in the military how to fight under fire. You under fire, you got to get up and you got to fight. You got life in you.
And I got up and I said, okay, I'm in here now. What can I do to make this better for me? That's when I wrote my first book, Why Am I in Prison? I'm the author of 7 books now. Why? Because I forgave myself and say, okay, let's take advantage of the moment. If you're going to be in here, what you going to do? Learn how to build cabinets while I was in prison. Enrolled in the Bible college. Start getting college credit hours. So you got to forgive yourself, because I came to realize the person I hurt the most was me. I'm the one who locked up. I'm the one taken away from my kids. Whenever my kids come in there in visitation, when it's time to go, my 3-year-old grabbing my leg, my other daughter jumping on me, and they screaming and hollering, Daddy, we want to stay here with you. So I'm the one. I hurt myself more than anybody else. Why should you book me? Why should you book me? We're talking about forgiveness. Why should you book me? But before I say why you should book me, I want you all to go to my webpage, drdarrelltolbert.org, or you can scan the QR code right here. And notice it says free yourself from yesterday so you can enjoy today. Go to the QR code, scan that. Go to my webpage and you'll go to About, scroll down to it where it says Life Coach. If you're struggling with forgiving somebody, I'm going to give you a 30-minute free consultation. I have a curriculum. I guarantee it's 6 weeks long. It's based on my book, I Forgave the 2 Men I Vowed to Kill. That you go through this curriculum, put the work on. It will help you forgive somebody. Why should you book me? Don't book me because I have a master's degree. Don't book me because I have an honorary doctorate degree. Don't book me because I have a doctorate degree. Don't book me because I have a PhD. Don't book me because I'm a certified forgiveness coach. Don't book me because I'm a certified life purpose coach. Don't book me because I'm an author. Book me because I've been down inside that pit of despair to the point to where I want to kill a man. I know what it's like to hate. I know what it's like to want to kill somebody, to carry these resentments for over 32 years. I know what it's like. And I'm like the modern day Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was not happy to just be free herself. She said, I need to come back and get somebody else. I'm not happy to be free myself. I'm coming back inside that pit, and I want to pull you out. Take my hand. I know the way. I've been there. I know the struggle. And I often tell people this. If I'm inside a hole, if I got 2 people standing outside that hole, one talking about his AI research and what he done Google or how to get out the hole, and the other say, hey man, I was in that hole yesterday. Guess who I want to talk to? I don't want to talk to you about what you think. I want to talk to that guy who was in that hole yesterday. Come here. Tell me how you got out that hole. I'm the guy that was in that hole yesterday, and I want to tell you how to get out that hole. 30 years later, I made the vow to kill this man. 30 years later, 33 years later, I'm doing Uber on the side. I'm a truck driver by nature. I'm doing Uber on the side. I want to do some Uber. Went down there, wasn't getting anything. Came home, the Uber app went off. I went to the location, 3 people standing outside. I asked, hey, anybody call for Uber? They say yes. Somebody come to my car and say, hey, man, you want me to get in the front of the bike? I said, get in the front. When they got in, I looked. It's the guy who tried to kill me, tried to kill my cousin. He screamed, oh, Darrell. It was like all time stood still. I was immediately transported back to that night. I could see the bullets. I could hear all the guys, see the blood everywhere. As we driving in the car, he's talking about his nerve. When I get to the location, he gets out the car and say, Darrell, I heard you're a preacher now. Would you pray for me? Well, I pray for you. I want to kill you. I don't want to pray for you. But forgiveness was knocking at my door. I had an opportunity. I can let it in and be free from all of that stuff, or I can close the door and stay in bondage. I took his hand and I began to pray with him. And I began to pray for him. I could feel his pain, his hurt, in and out the juvenile detention center as a child. Killed my cousin, paralyzed another girl, killed his cousin. When I prayed, when I drove off, I remember just screaming and hollering and saying, God, you set me up. You set me up. Yes, he set me up to be free of that moment. But this is the thing. All of us like to dress up unforgiveness. You got it covered up where nobody can see it. You hide it with success in all of that stuff, but you're not healed. You cover it up with degrees, but underneath, this is what a lot of us really looks like. All of this represents molestation. All of this represents I've been abandoned. All of this stuff is what we really are. These are issues that we have not dealt with yet, but I cover it up. I got a master's degree, but it's covered up. And a lot of y'all listen to me right now. This is what we really look like. We cover up all of this stuff up under success, but you're not dealing with your root issue. You could be successful in many parts of your life, but it's that one part that's holding you back. Forgive today so you can enjoy the benefit of today and yesterday. Release that weight that has set you hostage, caused you to be distanced from your family for so many decades.